Hello and welcome to my channel, Sandy Toe Tarot. My name is Laura and I am an intuitive and an empath, and I am a tarot reader. So I am launching my channel, my YouTube channel today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to pull 3 cards first of all for, no, actually, take that back. I'm going to pull the Oracle card first, and then I will pull 3 cards to get just like the general energies for the week, and then we'll pull more cards if we need to. So just one, there it is, one Oracle card. Discovering truth, you stand in the light of truth. So this is kind of an interesting picture. There's a young man standing at a road. He's not actually following the road, and there are a couple people there that are telling him which way to go down the road, and he's saying, no, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna follow my own path. So great imagery there. So let's just get 3 cards from the Herbal Tarot for the week of April 12th, April to April 19th, 2020. What are our messages? What do we need to know? What are the messages for April 12th to April 19th, 2020? I do kind of like to just let the right cards fall out. I don't have to necessarily. Sometimes I will pull them. I apologize for that. The cards do just like slide right off there if I don't have a cloth underneath that. So we got some cloth there. The cards will stand up now. We're good to go. Okay, so April 12th to April 19th, 2020. What are the messages? Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have the 4 of Pentacles, we have the 10 of Wands, and we have the 2 of Wands. So I absolutely get what is going on here. Let me read the Discovering Truth from the book. So the Sacred Traveler wants you to know, if you are facing a decision and your mind says one thing and your heart says another, follow the dictates of the heart and you'll be on the right path. If you get a nudge to speak to someone or go in a particular direction, don't hesitate, follow the guidance. On your journey, others may indicate what path you should take and why. You can listen to their advice. However, if your heart indicates another way, follow that. There's a place inside of yourself that always knows the truth. Take time to be still, to discover that genuine place of knowing within. Often the hardest thing about living your truth is discovering what it is, so it's important to slow down, be quiet, and listen to the whispers of your soul. If there's an area of your life in which you're not being authentic or where you're not in integrity with your values, this is the time to make some changes. Whew, that's very true, isn't it? This is the time to make some changes. If you're not living in your truth, I kind of identify with this myself. So many people do not know that I read tarot cards. When I talked to some people about this and told them that I was planning on doing this, they were like, it was like coming out a little bit. Because I just don't talk about it. I haven't, I live in a very conservative world. Most of my family are right-wing conservative Christians. So they certainly would not understand this. I have always kind of followed my own spiritual path and went out searching for myself, for my spiritual path. And, you know, it took me down many twists and turns, and I ended up eventually finding what I consider my faith. So this card means, like what I'm doing here, it is time for me to live in my truth, not care what anybody thinks about my reading tarot cards or anything. And I think this message is also for you guys. It is time to live in your truth. Always follow your heart. And here's also what's happening, because this is a little bit of a slowdown in our culture. And by the way, that's, you know, that's divine intervention too. This has been coming for a long time. If you believe in astrology and want to listen to the astrologers, have been talking about this for a long time. Like the dawning of the age of Aquarius and the Great Awakening, and more living in more of a humanitarian type of world. But this kind of thing happens, like it's a stop. Listen to your heart. What is happening with you right now? What values do you want to take in the future with you? So find your truth now. Now's the time. Find your truth and take that with you and follow your heart always. Okay, so these cards are what we call the Four of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Two of Wands. So in tarot, these are called what are called minor arcana cards. There are major arcana cards that are like major milestones in your life, major things that are going on in your life, big things happening, right? Marriages, divorces, striking out on a new adventure, just any number of things. But these are what are called everyday cards. And I think that is kind of where we are as a culture. It is like getting more in touch with the everyday and what we want our lives to be like in the everyday, instead of just getting on that treadmill of getting up every day, going to work, going to bed, coming home, cooking dinner, maybe, or going out to dinner or getting takeout or whatever, watching a little TV, go to bed, get up, repeat that pattern day in and day out, just kind of on a mindless cycle. So we're in like a still place, right? So that is exactly what the Four of Pentacles is. In this particular rendition of it, we have a lady sitting in the lotus position. Actually, it's almost like a meditative state. Fours are grounded, stability, and the pentacles represent earthly things, right? So this is also a message that's saying those things are a little bit weird right now. You are okay. You have financially everything that you need. And let's talk about earthly things too. Pentacles definitely is money. It's also those earthly things that you need to survive. Food, clothing, shelter. So what this card is saying is right now is not a time really for growing wealth. It is a time to be still, but you have everything that you need during this time to carry you through in this little bit of a period of stillness. So the Ten of Wands, this is depicting a young man with 10 wands, and wands are energy in the tarot. And you can see he's carrying those on his back, and he is pretty weighed down with all the pressures. And the thing about tens are that they are endings and beginnings at the same time. So it might be that we are in a phase right now of being still a little bit overburdened with all of our responsibilities that we've carried into this little pause in our life. Many people are still working in the same jobs from home. Many people have new burdens that they're carrying with caring for loved ones who may be sick, or if you're a parent and you had your children were in school part of the time, they were in daycare part of the time. Now you've taken on the responsibility of homeschooling them. They're at home all the time, so you have to make different arrangements, and you still have other obligations that you need to meet while you're doing that at the same time. So this is kind of indicating that we are a little bit burdened right now. There is a lot going on, but like I said, the 10s are an ending. So we're coming out of this. This is like the last of it, of this burden. And as we move forward, later into the month of April and into the month of May, I feel like things will be shifting. The burdens will be shifting. I don't think we will be so bogged down with way too much to do and all this negative energy. I think we will find a new way. I think we will figure a new path and find a new way to move forward that is much lighter and much more humanitarian and a much happier place. And that is exactly what this Two of Wands is. Again, wands are energy, right? So you've got this young man that's standing on the edge of the river. He has 2 wands in his hand, and he has one wand in his hand and one is standing up. And 2s are decisions, right? So choices. You have 2 choices, right? So what this guy is doing is he's looking out on the world. If you notice, he does have the world in his hand there. He's looking out on the options, and he's trying to figure out where we go next, right? Where does he go next? So we're done with all this. We're done with this little rest period, this little stagnation period that we're having right now, right? And we've had for the last month or so. In our current world, there are some burdens that are pretty heavy right now, but that is coming to an end. And like I said, 10s are endings and beginnings at the same time. So we're coming out of that. We're moving forward. And we're at a place where we're looking out on the world and deciding what it is that we want. And if you come back to the Oracle card, that is what is our truth. What we want, what our future should look like, what we should include in our new world comes from that heart space. It comes from what is our truth, what is important to us, what do we want to carry forward into the new world, what new ideas do we have, what new businesses do we want to create. It's really kind of an exciting time when you think about it. Yes, some things are falling by the wayside, but they have to be. They're supposed to be doing that. It's going to be a brave new world out there. And this is an exciting time to figure out exactly what it is that you want. But be sure that it does come from what you love. It comes from a heart space. And honestly, I don't think that I need to get any clarifiers for this week reading of what's coming up April 12th through 19th. I think that message is very clear, and I think it applies to all of us. So happy Easter to you. Thank you very much for joining me today on my very first YouTube video. And as I said, if you do like what's going on here, please do like, share, and subscribe. And if I don't see you before then, I will definitely see you next Sunday for another weekly energy update. Namaste.